Hi everybody. The series of videos you're going to see are taken from my Facebook Live that I've been doing in the evenings of the build of this aircraft. Now, one reason I've done this is it's just so much easier to plug in my webcam to my computer, stream it onto my Facebook. People can ask me questions. So the videos you're going to see right now, you'll notice that sometimes I'm answering questions and it's not me hearing voices in my head. It's actually people on my computer asking me questions while I'm just building things. The reason I've done this is it just got too much work to try to record a video, edit that video. Sometimes I would have to edit sound into it because my camera's audio didn't work good with my external microphone audio, and it just became a pain in the butt. So what you're seeing right now is a series of videos of me building the airplane, but it's through my Facebook Live. Now, these first videos were really crappy quality and the audio was crappy, and as I kind of figured out what I was doing, it got much, much better. So understand the first series of videos you're seeing here are crap quality, but then they get much better toward the end. I have about 24 hours of videos I recorded over the last month and a half, and I'm going to try to get each one of them up as about 30-minute pieces or less here on YouTube. So thanks for watching, everybody. I love all my followers, I love all the emails, and I love all the support. Have a great day and rock on. And this is basically an update on the freEMMAstein. There's been an awful lot of confusion about the landing gear on this. Okay, I kept laying basically these pieces on here, and everybody kept thinking that these were clamps. Hang on, let me get that off. So everybody kept thinking these were clamps to hold the fuselage together or something, and actually these are torsion bars. The fuselage is so big I barely reach across it. So this is basically a torsion bar. Let me make sure you can see that right. So this is going to be connected to the shaft rigidly, but it can pivot on this, but here in the middle it'll be captured rigidly also. So basically I'm twisting this fiberglass rod as a torsion bar for my suspension, but that's not the only one. I'm also augmenting it. I'm also augmenting it right here. Is going to be a bungee or a spring or a whole bunch of big rubber bands, because the way that the true suspension works is that the wheel's going to pivot on here. Right now it's not captured in the middle, so it's not rigid. The torsion bar is not even working. But this is how the main landing gear suspension is going to work on this airplane. And hang on, let me grab another two wheels. And these other two wheels, which are going to be mounted here, so these will be the wheels of the airplane. This will be the cap that will go on the end of the wheel nacelle, or what I'm calling the wheel nacelle. So basically this is the way the landing gear is going to work in here and support the airplane. I needed to get it a little bit wider track because it's got a 20-foot wingspan, and the landing gear is only about 40 inches apart. And that's not a good ratio, but if you look at C-130s and CASAs and some of those planes that have that narrow wheels, it's not a big problem. But the whole reason I did this was to be absolutely as light as I can, to have springs big enough in here to work where this is just a pivot. I was afraid of the forces that would be bending on this. By having this rod here, this rod also becomes part of the axle that prevents the landing gears from flexing. So that's the reason I designed this. This is the middle part that will actually be slid on the rod here, and this will be attached rigidly like this. So it'll be rigid here, but these parts on the outside will be twisting like this, and that will be the bulk of the strength of the I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the questions. So this would be the twisting motion would be the bulk of the suspension. One of the questions was how am I doing the CG on this plane? The actual wing of the airplane, if I can find a rib, I'm not sure why I threw all my ribs. I had a bunch of ribs cut around here somewhere, but I don't even remember where I put my ribs. Oh, here's one. So the actual wing is going to be located about here. So the center of gravity of the airplane, can you see that? Yeah. So the center of gravity of the airplane is going to be almost at this front wheel, which is where you want it. I mean, you don't want the center of gravity way up here. You know, that's another thing that I noticed. A lot of people screw up when they design their own plane where they put the landing gear. On a tricycle landing gear, the main gear should only be about 5% behind the CG, so the plane's easy to rotate. If you've got it way at the back, you're basically starting to mash those down, or you're trying to use the wing to take the weight off it. The best thing to do is have that wheel as close to the CG, but not letting it fall on its tail end. So the wing, keep in mind this is inverted. The wing will be approximately here, and the center of gravity is going to fall right in front of this wheel, but this wheel will be plenty far behind the CG. Will those wheels be retractable? No. These are just fixed gears. You know, I did think about it, okay, but it's insane. I mean, I'd add way too much weight to this airplane. I did think about basically letting this pivot and bring the wheels. Here would be the takeoff and landing mode, and this would be retract. But I don't want to add any more weight to this airplane. I have the jack screws to do it. It's just the mechanism that would have to go in the middle of the fuselage to be able to twist those would just be maddening as far as adding weight. I've done the calcs that add about 8 pounds to the airplane to do it right. Keep in mind, I would have to have some type of a device that, and I'm not even sure what I call these things. Sometimes I call them elbows, or I call them links. But basically, you need to have a way that when the landing gear is down, you have a positive lock. You don't want to leave the air cylinder locking it down. You don't want to leave that load just on a lead screw. The best thing you can do is get a positive lock. So the way the retract landing gear would work is that inside the fuselage, I'd have like a scissor thing that's shaped like this. And I would have a jack screw in it so that when the jack screw's all the way out, the scissors are in the middle. But when the jack screws open, the scissors come back like this. And there would be a spring that would help push out the scissor. And that scissor would move along the inside of the fuselage, and there'd be 2 arms off this torsion bar. So the torsion bar would actually have enough string to stretch out the springs, okay? And the wheels would retract, but I just can't do that. That's too much weight on this plane, and it's too much to go wrong. Keep in mind, I have leading edge slats that are going to be operable. I have spoilers that are going to be operable. I have the Fowler type flap like on my B-36 on this airplane. And then I've got this door, which, by the way, I got out of from FBL today, the lead screw and the lead nut. So I'm going to work on that in the weekend. You know, during the week, I've just been way too busy with family and work to do much on this. But I just wanted to get this put together late tonight so everybody could kind of see the way the landing gear is going to work on this. Now, if you've been watching my other videos, the nose gear is going to be 2 struts with 2 wheels each. So there'll be 4 nose wheels on this. And I already have that completely designed, figured out. I don't know. I want to get this completely done, and I want it to get on the set on the main landing gear by the end of this weekend, so I can start working on. I want to get that rear door done. I want to get this landing gear done as quick as I can, so that I can get to that rear door because I'm so excited about it. Hang on, I'll be right back. But this is a 3/8 inch lead screw, which when I got it was way too heavy. Okay, this was just an absolute tank. So I just got them at MasterCard today, a 1/4 12, I think it is, or a 1/4 16 lead screw, which, believe it or not, is 60% lighter than this 3/8, which doesn't make sense to me. It's got something to do with the amount of steel in it, I guess. But this is the lead screw, and I don't know if you can see the tail of the airplane, but basically that lead screw is going to live back here in the tail, and that's what's going to move that door. Already have designed in Fusion 360 the entire track system, the lead screw system, and it wasn't that hard to do because on John Morgan's Brewster Buffalo, I designed that track system for his retracts. I just grew that out to 34 inches of stroke on the lead screw. So hopefully this all makes sense. I think that's kind of all I wanted to touch base on the update. My target weight for this airplane is still to be around 52 pounds. And all my calculations say I'm going to be about 60. So we'll see what is right. As long as I don't exceed 77 pounds, which puts me into the other AMA weight class where I actually have to have this inspected by an AMA inspector, I'm going to be fine. And there's no way this beast is going to go over 77 pounds. If I can keep it at 55 pounds, I can put 20 pounds of cargo in it and go to 75 pounds. 20 pounds, right. Okay, I thought that's better. Sorry. So that 20 pounds on top of the 55 is 75. So that would be really cool to be able to carry 20 pounds of cargo and drop it with a parachute that's like an 8 or a 9 foot diameter. I mean, that would be pretty cool. But really, that's all I want to do in this update was talk about this main landing gear. I hope this makes sense to everybody how this works, because I've had everybody thinking I was building clamps to hold the fuselage together when I was gluing it. I had people thinking that it was a jig to line up things. This is basically my suspension here. Now, when it's done, I'm cutting out foam this shape here that will go across here, fit right here, and fit right here. And then I'm just going to have a little thin piece of fiberglass that will screw in to cover this center section. So basically, this whole center section will be shaped just like, imagine this shape basically across here. And that's what the whole bottom of the fuselage is going to look like. So it's going to be really clean, and it'll just be clean looking, the bottom of the fuselage. And I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. I think that's pretty much it. The horizontal stabilizer is now going to be just one big vertical stabilizer in the tail, and just the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizer are going to be just one vertical tail. I was going to put an H tail on it, and then I thought about doing it like some of the AWACS planes that have the 4 tails, but that's way too much weight. Every time I do the calculations of having more than just a vertical tail, it doubles the weight. And because of the rigidity, when you've got an H tail, there's so much rigidity that's got to go into that so that it doesn't flex or anything. And just having a horizontal stabilizer that has a carbon fiber backbone in it, and then having a vertical stabilizer that has 2 carbon fiber rods for support. Because if the horizontal stabilizer actually has a wing tube in it with a carbon fiber spar, that horizontal stabilizer is going to be stronger than hell. With the vertical stabilizer coming up, it doesn't matter at all how strong that connection to the fuselage is, because I'm going to have 2 carbon fiber supports holding the vertical stabilizer up. And I'm trying to keep the tail as light as I can because I don't want to add an ounce to get the CG right. One thing that does make me a little bit nervous though is how long my cargo bay is. If I don't load the cargo right in this airplane and it doesn't get extracted right, my CG could go drastically nose heavy. The door is so close to the CG, I don't think anything's going to get hung up on the back that could make the plane go nose heavy. But if for some reason I dump half my cargo and the other half doesn't dump, it's going to be a wild landing this airplane, because I'm going to have to be coming in hot as hell to have enough elevator to be able to flare it to land. I actually had that happen to a C-130 I built about 20 years ago. I took a gentle lady wing, the glider, and I made it completely flat and made a fuselage. Basically, I just scratch built. It had 09 engines on it, but it had such a large cargo bay. I was dropping 2 tanks, and the back tank went up, the front tank wouldn't come out. And when I went to land it, I augered the nose into the ground because I just didn't have enough elevator. But that's pretty much it. Keep in mind, the whole plane is going to be fiberglassed with 3/4 ounce cloth, It's going to be painted with that really cool silver paint that I like, that I've done my engines in. So it's going to be silvers, and I'm going to try to do the paint scheme kind of like a 1950-ish sack bomber or transport or something like that. And hopefully that works out pretty good. So understand there's 8 main wheels, 4 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 there, 2 there. These have pneumatic brakes, so there are brakes, so I can sit on the ground, rev up the engines, let off the brakes, go down the runway. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, another thing that came, when I explained to all of you, I think it was 2 videos ago, that on the front of the airplane, this is what the nose of the plane is going to look like. And I said I'd have a hinge on it that would go up and down. Well, and I don't have them in here. I got to disappear again. And I'm back. So these pneumatic cylinders here at 100 PSI have almost 500 pounds of push. And it's going to be really neat because I'm going to take 2 of these air cylinders and put them on this. So imagine this. I've got a small little robot air cylinder. When you think of a landing gear pneumatic system, you have multiple channels. One channel is to open the landing gear door. The other one is to open the landing gear. On this, I'm going to use the same kind of controller, but I'm going to program a pin in the bottom that when this door is closed, that pin will lock my nose closed. But when I flip the switch up, it will unlock as the landing gear door is opening, and then those 2 big honking things will pivot my nose up. So if I want to put cargo in from the front and back and get it all lined up, I can access the plane from both ends. So I hope that makes sense, because these cylinders that I've tested, they're made by Cliphard. I can't remember where I bought these. Maybe I bought it from them, but these I experimented with a couple of years ago on some landing gear a friend wanted me to build for a 40% P51 that he's worked on and off of. In the landing gear, each landing gear weighed 21 pounds. And we couldn't get them to go up and down, but I bought these suckers and they made it go up and down. But that plane's sitting in his storage shed right now because he doesn't know what motor to put on it. But pretty much that's it. I hope you are enjoying these videos. I'm trying to keep them somewhat short, and I'm trying to get them a couple of times a week, and I hope you come back and watch the next one. Today's Thursday. I'm guessing my next one will be over the weekend, but I'm planning on having 2 of these a week that are scheduled. So if you want to come and ask questions, you can. If not, just watch the video when it's replayed. So I hope you all like this, and you all have a really good day. And now I got to figure out how to shut all this off. So there's going to be about 7 seconds of me fumbling around, okay? So everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.